Next up, we have Jesus. Jesus I. Valles is a queer Mexican immigrant, educator, storyteller, and performer based in Austin. Jesus was a finalist for the Write Bloody 2016 Poetry Contest and will soon be featured in the Shade Journal. Jesus is continuing work on a poetry manuscript tentatively called UnDocuments. Please welcome Jesus.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jesus. So I'm gonna just read things because I'm nervous. And also this person's gonna tell you a lot about me. So. 1. I've been strapping myself with flaming irons, stuffing cheeks full of hot coals, a new conquest. This is the work of becoming citizen, subject, public servant, docile, service. We become Americans mouth first. You'll understand the process if you allow yourself to leap off a government building and ask your teeth to catch you. Mid-flight, knowing your teeth will shatter, you remember home, your mother's lullabies, her sweet words, and break your heart first so the fall won't kill you. You'll understand the process of becoming American if you've ever had to leave your country, if you've ever spun yourself wild off your axis, left yourself suspended, if you've ever been the thing sitting in between a bridge, a river, an ocean, the thing in between the two things that fill the space in your mouth, where I became American first. The school sounds in your throat from being less there and more here. Here, I've got hold of syllables like chains, barbed wires on my lips. Smile for the nice man, the agent, the cop, the boss, straight jacket, my mouth shut or open, sizzling still from hot irons, the coals and blades of this new place in my teeth, my tongue too. We came here to a place of neon lights, lucky 7-Eleven, the first American soil to touch my feet. Was a convenience store. There were so many colors, so many lights, so much candy here. There were magazines with beautiful Americans, beautiful things. There was Fran Drescher on the cover of People greeting me at a 7-Eleven, my Lady Liberty, and red sequins and high up to America was the promise I'd seen on my television screen. It was a house like the one on The Nanny, so white, a white house. I wanted my tongue to sound like the television. I wanted to crossing to hide. I wanted to collapse an international bridge in my mouth. I wanted to crush consonants with crisp articulate. I wanted to become master, to train the wildness from my lips, magician and master. I turned my mouth into a mechanism, smoke and mirrored every inch of softness out of my tongue. Watch as the amazing immigrant fools rooms full of scholars into thinking his home is here. Watch as he stretches his wide mouth in ways his parents cannot. Watch his mouth turn into a visa, the darkness in my mouth, the dark space between the two rows of my teeth. It's a hyphen to a black line between one place and one time and two lives. It's a chasm between my family that opens wider each time I forget one more word in Spanish, fumble or mispronounce one word in English. What treacherous thing, a tongue. 3. I've become a snake thing, a half thing, a liar, mi lengua, my mouth trips and stumbles over teeth, consonants, and syllables. Split this tongue is the thing, the mouth of a dragon, a beast, a clockwork, a serpent. It wasn't the wisdom of the snake, always treated as deceit. Didn't holy books tell you to never trust the thing that came to your land, crawling, forked tongue? Didn't they warn you of spirits that might speak in too many tongues, harbingers of plague? Didn't they want to build a wall? Didn't they cut out your tongue once? Searing the wounds in fear, we were hydras, 2 more tongues in a mouth that was home to just one once. Mi lengua, my tongue dances in 2 languages, both conquered into my mouth. My molars, the musculature of gums, and hard of mandibles, a soft soil to plant flags in, a place to occupy, a passport, boca, labios, lengua, mi magia, my mouth, mystic, mistake, magic. And what good is a magic tongue if I never feel like its master? My mouth, a monster, a machine. So that's how I started out here. We got here, and then I moved to Austin, and things are white, and that can be tough for some people, for a lot of people globally. So this is called Field Notes. And it started as a collection of just shitty things that happened to me in Austin that I would just write down on my cell phone. Eventually, the list just became a thing that I was like, oh, this is exactly what it feels like. Field notes. At a mixer for artists, a playwright, some older white man asks where I am from. I say Mexico because it's where I'm from. He asks for my papers, like that. Can I see your papers? He laughs, I don't. No one says anything. At the Iron Bear, I laugh with my friend Armando about the things brown boys laugh about when they are with each other, about our mothers, about their warnings, about our eating habits, about the men at the bar, about the tired queens we are. We laugh in the tongue our mothers sang to us in. Some fuck across the bar starts yelling at us in German. He says, I hate whenever people start speaking Spanish around me. I mean, if you know 2 languages, why would you speak the one I can't understand? Later, he asks if we'd like some Coke. Armando says yes. No one says anything. At a taqueria, a little white girl turns her palm into a fist, then into a gun and shoots me, and then her white mother peeks to see what she's killed. And it's me, and she laughs, and they eat their tacos, and no one says anything. At a law office, my friend asks about his parents' case. The lawyer jokes, Mexico must be a terrible place if everyone wants to leave it. He says to my friend who left his home once. He laughs. No one says anything. At the bar, a man pushes his fingers, beer-soaked, into my ass. What whispers something about my sweet beaner cunt? In my ear, my throat dries. I say no. He apologizes. He must have mistaken me for someone else. I have that handsome Latin face. What he means is he likes brown dick, and it's all the same to him. A pickup line wrapped in taxonomy. He fondles, reaches for my crotch, holds me in a handful, and begs, give me that brown street dick, not knowing any street my brown dick comes from. Your mango street dick? My friend jokes after I tell him the story. No one says anything because it's what the man meant. I'm part of a library of brown dicks he's archived in his throats. So come. Have I not eaten sin before? Before you brought the things, the dogs you brought, what you brought, my mouth, carved path to the cauldron of my gut. In it, an apocalypse, a place to end you, a place where ends live. I saw the end once. We ran in terror from swords. Your dogs, the gnashing, your ships, I wrote of it years later in a corpse. Memories that are not mine, a language that did not belong to me, but I remember we ran once from an end. I made myself an apocalypse, and this time I'll feast first. But before I moved to Austin, a lot of things happened, and one of the things that kind of marked a really significant change for me was my brother being deported. I had 2 brothers deported, one in 2009 and one in 2010. So this is a phone call that I wrote as a shitty one-act play. That is a poem. Phone call, a shitty play in 1 act. Stage direction. It starts as a phone call in a classroom in El Paso. Danya, my sister, hey fool, come on right now, the fucking migra got going. Me, for those of you who've never heard the term migra, is the name we use to talk about immigration, ICE, beasts howling thirsty outside our doors, unless of course you are what you might be, a citizen. The professor in front of the classroom is explaining the importance of August Wilson's Pittsburgh cycle on American theater. I can't hear him. On the other end of the phone is my 13-year-old sister, and the whole world cracked open, linoleum on the concrete of the classroom sinking beneath my feet. I wasn't there when ICE agents raided my brother's work. I only saw the news stories. And what hurt most immediately was thinking about him on the ground, about his head, his hands behind his head. What hurt most was thinking about the chaos, the running through the rocks and the dust and cement. 28 men, one of them my brother, Govelin Arreola Morales. And if I write his name down right here, spell it right here amidst all this English, if someone reads this, isn't he documented then? Aren't these his papers? What hurt most of all was calling my mother to tell her, then watching her receive a phone call from him. The precise moment she heard his voice crack, this man made from stone, and she says, te quiero, mijo. Stage direction. And what hurt most was the way the government sopped up the mess they made with paper. And none of the characters exit, and the lost brother is always off stage, a voice somewhere. End of play. Govelin. My brother is 10 years older than I, which makes him 36. Beyond the age difference, our relationship was strained by the fact that we shared no common interests, different fathers. His killed in a driving accident, then our mother remarried, mine alive. This woman's blood between us, a fact confirmed by the traces of her still left on our faces. If you look at our visa photos side by side, you'd see it. But not much else made us feel each other brother. In Spanish, we sometimes use the word carnal to refer to our brothers. ¿Qué pasó, carnal? Quite literally, we use the word carnal to describe our relationship to one another. Carnal of the flesh, carne, meat, muscle, flesh, you, my flesh, mi carnal, you, blood, I can't escape, tu, carnal, mi carnal. For a long time, I wanted to call the separation from my brother a kind of border trauma, un trauma fronterizo, las marcas de una violencia, the markings of a violence. I've been looking towards my brother for years now, looking at the border, asking the bridge, is that a promise or a threat? Years ago, in an archive somewhere in a file folder, a ream of white, black ink stains my name, place of birth, country of origin. None of them sound anywhere like here. In a file somewhere, the metrics of a lifetime, the merits of citizenship unfurled, judgment between pages, calculating the time you lived here, how long, where, when did you get here, and why? Somewhere in an archive, I am burning soft and young. I am pages of testimonies, receipts, report cards, case numbers, making up the limbs I lack on the page. And somewhere else, my brothers, their papers, deportation proceedings, testimonies, receipts, criminal records scratched and bound and gone, case numbers making up the limbs they lost leaving. And why? Sin papeles, we say. Without papers, but the term is wrong. Really, we are painful libraries of nothing but paper, oceans of thin cuts on the skin we lost along the way. And here, it is how we live. Every step recorded, alphabetized, file. And before they raid workplaces, don't they build files too? In this country, isn't there anywhere some piece of paper somewhere with our names threatens our safety? You think possible, a fiction you lust for, safety. And I'd like to imagine an undoing, a less painful way to paper, a license, a passport, a birth certificate, a visa, a green card, and why? When we are dead, we will leave behind our bills, our mountains of leases, loan applications, past due notices, our names on envelopes, and I'd like to imagine we'd leave our love letters, the notes we passed, our longings, and poems, and prayers, and the things we scrawled on the wall, and those are documents too. Proof we were here once, and why. And this is the last one. It's called Ciudadano. Years later, the word citizen still troubles my tongue. Sharp edges of the word will get caught in my teeth sometimes, or it gets stuck right in my throat even when someone else is saying it. A year and some months back, my father, at the age of 60, became a US citizen. In a fleeting moment, my father and I understood each other as two people belonging to a place we'd never fully feel comfortable calling home. He has a tiny American flag hidden in his sock drawer now, just like me. Where does one keep the thing given to you by the very agency that took away your sons or your brothers? His? Mine? I asked jokingly what he'll do now that he's a gringo. He laughs the way we both laugh with each other, like you can hear the thousands of syllables will never form into words we can confess. He says, pues nada, seguir trabajando. Nothing, he says, keep working. ¿Qué más queda, verdad, pa? Y seguir.